really a lot of different issues within the football program, and sort of to the sense of they went from being this sympathetic story when they got snubbed,
right,
to now you sue your conference because you think you're better than your peers in that conference, and then to start out 0-2, it's so they've gone. It's been a 180 change. They've gone from being sort of the nation's darling because everybody felt bad that they'd gotten snubbed when they were undefeated, to now it's like, I mean, they're sort of borderline on being one of the biggest jokes in college football. That's just how it is. I mean, but it's amazing how quickly it's flipped. And
it speaks to the importance of this week's game to that end. So
it's a good story if you're interested. It's on ESPN.com.
All right, lots to do. Let's start with the Jaguars, but first we'll have our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week, the first one of the year. That's after this. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Start Sunday morning with a balanced breakfast of football.
Breakfast out of bed.
Live from Tailgaters Parking on the Terminix Kickoff Show. 5 hours before kickoff of every game. Brought to you by Gatorade and Clearwater Irrigation on 1010XL.
At Hodges Mazda, we are proud of our solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. Lauren Brooks here. As your hometown Mazda dealer, our high customer service standards and our huge inventory of new and used cars provide our customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Our professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And every vehicle purchased from Hodges Mazda comes with 2 years free maintenance. Visit Hodges Mazda today or shop online at HodgesMazda.com and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harrell and Harrell. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell and Harrell. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell and Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're in pain and you think you've tried everything, I've got a solution for you. The team at Active Health Jacks treats the source of the problem, not just the pain, so you can avoid surgery, cortisone injections, and pain medications. I've had neck aches for years, and I've tried everything from acupunctures to massages with no results. Within minutes of my evaluation and treatment, the tension was gone. It was amazing. Active Health Jacks can help you too. Give them a call at 904-296-0202 today or visit them online at activehealthjacks.com.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Duck Duck Rooter is currently hiring in all departments. We want great plumbers, CDL drivers, drain field installers, and lift station technicians. If you have experience in your trade and love to deliver a super high-quality level of customer service, you have found the right company. You will enjoy our benefits package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and working for the best in the industry. Apply at duckduckrooter.com. That's duckduckrooter.com. And click on the careers page. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and even though you're the place to go for fun, you're also a place to go for generators. People need generators.
And the Honda lineup is amazing. They make the super quiet model, inverter technology, the electricity's super clean. You can have conversations with them. You can back up your whole house with a Honda generator. So we have them in stock, and we're ready to ride.
So you have generators big enough that could run everything in the house.
Absolutely.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency for generators.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, let's go!
And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
And we're excited about our first Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week of the school year. It's a pleasure to welcome Kendall Utley from Sandalwood High School. Hey, Kendall.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're going to be great. You're not nervous, are you?
Just a little.
Okay. I think
you'll be wonderful.
You are. You are a volleyball player, the captain for 2 years running on volleyball. We'll talk about some academic stuff in a minute. But tell me about volleyball. How'd you get playing? How long have you played? Why is it special for you?
I started in middle school. I just remember during gym class, we'd all sit around and play volleyball, and I had no clue what I was doing. And I just kind of found a love for it. And I started doing like little baby stuff at JJVA and worked my way up. And then freshman year, I made varsity, and that I was just like, wow, maybe I should take this seriously. So I started doing club and at Sandalwood the last 4 years, and it's just been great.
As a setter, what made you fall in love with that position?
I just love leading. I love being in charge. So setting just kind of lets me do that with a sport. So it's great. I love it.
Tell us about some highlights of your career. I know you and Hays asked you about that a little bit off air, but teams you like playing against, games that you remember. Tell us about that.
I love the competitive games. I love playing our rivals like AC and Fletcher and Mandarin.
Yeah.
Some fun memories with the team. There's so many. This team is really special, and I'm so thankful for each of the girls.
What kind of team do you think you guys will have this year?
I think we definitely have a lot of young people, so I'm hoping that we can make it far. We've started off kind of slow, but I think we're going to work our way up, and I don't think people are going to expect it, so I think it will be exciting.
All right. Tell us about some of the clubs you're involved in. Great Decisions is one. Early College Club. Tell us about those.
Yes. So early college is something specific to Sandalwood. I know a few other schools have it, but pretty much when I graduate, I will have my AA degree before I graduate high school. So I'll be going into college with my AA degree, and that just allows me to get ahead of the game.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us about the college choices. Who are you looking at, and what would be the dream?
I'm applying to a couple schools, a lot of the big Florida schools. I'm applying to Georgia Southern. FSU is my dream. Both my parents went there, and it's just always been my second home, I feel like. So I'm hoping that's where I'll get into, but we will see.
Tell us a little bit about what you like to do. What do you want to study? What's the vision down the road?
So my mom is a teacher, and I've just kind of grown up being in a school, and I love it. It has my heart. I go back and forth between teaching or going into political science, so I'm still trying to decide between those two.
That's fantastic. And, give us a sense of the strengths of this team. What do you think is something as you guys grow that you guys will be able to count on as you get into districts and things like that?
I think we have a lot of different players with different key skills. We have some 6-foot tall people, but then we have our little 5-foot people like me in the back just putting in their all. I think all of us together combined in our attitudes, we have a really positive team. I've had teams in the past that sometimes we had let our attitudes get in the way of our games, and I feel like this year we're just so positive, and I'm really appreciative of it.
Kendall, you're obviously in a bunch of clubs. You're involved in a lot of things. You're a great student and a very good volleyball player. You're managing a lot. What advice would you give to maybe someone younger that needs to try and juggle or manage academics, athletics, all of it together?
I would say time management is so important. I get home from practice and I'm going straight into my homework, and as much as I don't want to do it, I know that it's the right thing to do. So on game days, I'm not having to get home late and worry about it. But I feel like also, while it is important to stay focused, I think letting yourself have fun and relax and just have a good time with your friends is extremely important as well.
It's always balanced, isn't it?
Yes,
it's all
definitely.
about the balance. Well, I think you're going to get into FSU. I think you're going to do great. Congratulations on being our first of the year Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. It's great to meet you. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Kendall Utley is from Sandalwood High School, and she is terrific. A terrific volleyball player, and obviously a terrific student. And she is going to do just fine. I'm going to go on a limb and say she gets into FSU.
Yeah,
Call me crazy.
FSU, take her.
Yeah. And she already has her AA.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I raced through junior college, had my AA in just over 2 years.
I was going to say it took me like 6.5 years to get through college. So I commend.
You're impressed.
I commend people that start on second base when they arrive.
We thank our friend Tammy Talley, one of my dear friends in the world too. By the way, Tammy is the athletic director for the Duval County School System, DCPS, and she works really hard, by the way. And I say this when we start this every year. Tammy works really hard at putting this together, and these students are important to her in this program, and we're proud of it at 1010XL. Yeah. It's one of the things Steve Griffin wanted to do when we really launched the ship many years ago, is to honor high school students and honor high schools and athletics and academics. So we're very proud of our connection.
Tammy is such an asset to this city. Yeah. I mean, all the young people that she's had an impact on, it's remarkable.
Yeah, she really is. She's very steady. So, Tammy, we love you, and we love what we're doing with our Duval County Scholar Athletes of the Week. All right, let's get to it. What do you want to see more of? We talked about less of. We talked about what went wrong against the Dolphins. Let's put a little positive spin on it. What did you see that you want to see more of?
I think there's really a lot of things I think that they have established. I thought Brian Thomas was going to need some time to get up to speed, and maybe you'd see more of a productive back half of the year than first half. But, I mean, after seeing what an impact he was able to make immediately, the game is clearly not too big at the NFL level for Brian Thomas. So I think it starts there. If he can really become a dominant one is too much to ask, but if he can become somebody who legitimately the opponent views as a legit one, that really changes this offense. I mean, if it becomes Brian Thomas 1 and then let's say Christian 2, Evan 3, and Gabe Davis 4, and obviously that can change, and there'll be weeks where Gabe Davis has the best numbers, but I think it starts there. I love Etienne as a player. Obviously, he had the grotesque fumble that cost him the game, but I think when we get to the end of the season, Etienne is going to have a huge year, but you have to be impressed with Tank Bigsby. So now you've got a really good 1-2 punch there. Again, I'm not giving Bigsby more work because of what I've seen, but when they do need him, when they want to manage Etienne and give Tank those 5 to 8 carries or touches in a game, I feel very good about that. The interior offensive line, I think, held up maybe better than what I thought it might. So that was encouraging. Defensively, I was encouraged by everything. I mean, I thought defensively it was outstanding for a first year coordinator here and Ryan Nielsen to be able to go to Miami, face that offense, because I think Mike McDaniel is among the best offensive minds in the NFL. And he had months to work on Nielsen and his scheme and the Jaguar talent. And really, I don't think they'd have gotten off the mat if Etienne scores there or if the Jaguars score on that drive. I think it would have ended up being maybe the Dolphins score a cheap touchdown late to get to 14. But I do not think they were going to do much until the Etienne fumble occurred and the Jaguars had that uh-oh moment. And that's something that obviously they got to get a lot better at. But, I mean, I love the defense. I love the special teams. And I think offensively, to see a rookie perform as well as he did against Jalen Ramsey in his first game, again, he got no opportunities in second half. So, I mean, I can only go off of when they decided to use him. But lot to like there, and I think Tank Bigsby has figured it out.
Yeah, and so all the things I like, absolutely with Tank Bigsby. I don't forget about Travis Etienne. That's two really good backs, but I do want to see more of Tank. You're going to see Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk. I want to see more of that. I do think Brian Thomas Jr. down the field is something you got to see every game. It led to the first touchdown. He scored the second touchdown, albeit from in the red zone. I think number 7 is quickly going to become one of the most impactful rookies they've ever had here. I want you to think about it. I mean, Tony Baselli was an impactful rookie. All right, there's been some impactful rookies. Fred Taylor. But I think he's going to be one of the, first year in the league, Hayes, I think he's going to be one of the most impactful rookies they've had here. Look at the impact he had. He accounted for 2 touchdowns in a game where they scored 17 points.
I mean, it took him one half of football to be among the best first-round picks this organization has ever produced.
It really does. And he ran right by Jalen Ramsey, albeit Jalen injured and hadn't practiced some, ran right by. But again, they scored 17 points in the game. He directly accounted for 14 of those points. Down the field when he drew the pass interference, and then he scored the second one. And if I look hard enough, he probably had some sort of a role in the field goal. So if you think about it,
he blocks well, too.
He does. So I think more of number 7. And this is, by the way, a no-duh moment, and I know that. I mean, I'm saying what everybody else is saying, but I think there's got to be, without question, there has to be more of Brian Thomas Jr. So that's what I want to see more of. Obviously, Bigsby and Etienne together, I love that combination. I want to see more of that. Defensively, I love how he played it. It almost felt like a college defense that rotated so many players. Remember, a college team shows up with 85 players. They may dress 60 or whatever, but more guys, and they play a lot of guys. NFL teams typically just don't play as many players. I love the rotation. I love the fact that Mason Smith and Tyler Lacey were in on the second series. I love how much Ventrell Miller played, how much Yasir Abdullah played in that game. I love how much they used the different defensive backs. Did you realize how many linebackers they had played? I mean, if you think about it, they played obviously Foye Oluokun and Devin Lloyd are the starters. Chad Muma played a great deal of football. Ventrell Miller played a great deal of football. Yasir Abdullah, who, by the way, is playing a new position. He was always an edge. Now he's playing more of an in-space Sam. He played pretty well. I loved the way he did. How about the fact that we didn't emphasize this enough yesterday, I don't think, Hayes, because they lost the game. We were focusing on that. How about the fact that Jarian Jones is running stride for stride with Tyreek Hill on the first series of the game? A rookie, welcome to the league rookie, Tyreek Hill, who quite frankly might be the best player in the NFL. I'll tell you this, if you take non-quarterbacks, I probably would take him. If you said you can have one player in the NFL on your team right now, you can add one player. And I don't care what team you have. You can add one player in the NFL to your team, and it's not a quarterback. Boy, Tyreek Hill would be high on my list, man. I mean, T.J. Watt would be on the list. I mean, there's a handful of guys, but wouldn't Tyreek Hill be in your top 2 or 3 if that was the question?
Would have to be.
It'd have to be.
He's an incredible player. There's only one. There's only one player in the NFL that's got that kind of speed, playmaking ability, and he's a good receiver.
Yes, he's good. Right. He's not just fast. So Tyreek Hill, possibly the best player in the NFL that's not a quarterback. On your first series, welcome to the league, Rook. Now go run with him along the right sideline with a very accurate quarterback, having time to throw on the road, and he would stride for stride with him. That's good stuff from Jarian. And by the way, My guess is Monteric Brown starts opposite Ronald Darby this week with Darnell Savage in the slot. I think there's a chance that becomes Jarian Jones' job. Don't you sense that?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been really high on him since the first early returns came in, and again, he didn't have maybe the camp I thought he'd have, because I thought he was going to be like one of the stars of camp. But it was fine. It just wasn't. It wasn't. Oh my gosh! He's one of the top 3 or 4 guys that's out here in terms of performance. But I do think that's going to come, and again, to see him be able to cover Tyreek Hill like that, it's got to just thrill you if you're Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson. And in terms of how Ryan Nielsen deployed the defense, Coach Dave Campo was on earlier today on XL Primetime and was talking about it. He was like, I've never seen anything like it in terms of the substitutions, and this speaks to it. The Jaguars had 20 players against the Dolphins, 20 defensive players register at least 10 snaps in the game. I have never seen that. I mean, that is, now granted, you could make the point that because of Tyson Campbell's injury, he only went 53 snaps. So, Monteric Brown ends up playing 19, Jarian plays 17. Maybe that number wouldn't have been as high without the Tyson injury, but still, even if you take that off the table, to have 19 players play 10 defensive snaps in a game is ridiculous. That is unbelievable rotation. You just don't see it. And so to have 20 players log at least 10 snaps on the defensive side of the ball really speaks to, I think, the sophistication, but also that he's a good teacher, that he feels comfortable that I can put this many guys out here. 10 defensive snaps in a football game, that's not a small amount.
That's right.
I mean, that, just to give you an idea, Muma and Ventrell Miller each played 10 defensive snaps. That was 14% of the game. That's not an insignificant amount of playing time. And to have the communication be, I think, as strong as it was.
Great point.
It speaks to, I think, Nielsen and his staff. They're great teachers. To have that many guys ready to play in that environment against that talent in week 1, I think really says a lot about his ability to teach this game.
Great point about communication. Great point. I thought there were almost no communication breakdowns. I thought the 2 long over routes, there were the daggers, the 80-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill and the 62-yarder to Waddle to set up the first score. I did not think those were communication breakdowns. I thought both safeties came too flat. I thought both times the safety took a bad angle. One time I think it was Johnson. The other time I think it was Cisco. But I think it was 2 safeties that just took a bad angle. And in fairness to them, those freaking receivers are so fast you could guess wrong on the angle. You can't practice that.
Yeah, well,
you can't practice.
Let's see how Buffalo does against them on Thursday night.
Correct.
Let's see how every other team does against Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
You can't fathom how fast they both are.
Yeah,
so a safety taking a little bit of a flat angle, not realizing this guy running essentially, which is a long corner route. It's an over route because it's coming from the other side of the field. But because it's a long corner route, you can't fathom how fast they are. But that wasn't, in my mind, that wasn't a communication thing. It was a bad angle. So back to your point, which is a really good one. Brand new coordinator, a lot of brand new defensive coaches, all kind of new guys playing. Ventrell Miller's never played that much. Jarian Jones is new to the league. Antonio Johnson is a relatively new player. He's a new starter. Mason Smith is new to the league. Lacey is a guy that has not played a lot of football. If you look at how many guys, Hays, have played in new roles, and I got to tell you, you made a great point. You never felt like there was a communication breakdown. Never. Not one time. Again, the big plays, I thought the Jaguar defense wore down at the end a little bit because the offense didn't stay on the field enough. I thought they brought in Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins, who hadn't played a lot, so he had those fresh legs. I thought they took a few bad angles, as I said a moment ago, but the communication wasn't a problem. So more of the defense, continue to rotate those guys in. I love that. More Brian Thomas Jr., I think he's special. Obviously, you're going to get Kirk and Ingram involved some more. Offensive line played better, but again, we're talking about the things we want to see more of, not less of. I like kind of where they are. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Browns come to town, and as the week goes along, we'll talk a little bit about the Cleveland Browns. Who are they? Are they as bad a team as they looked like they were against the Dallas Cowboys? How much of that is the Dallas Cowboys? What has Deshaun Watson got left? Gosh, you got another charge against him from the same attorney back in 2020. So a lot of the Browns talk coming up. later on in the program. Let's take a break. When we come back, though, I want to talk a little Seminole football. The significance of this game for Mike Norvell and the Noles. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra, maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
Salvatore's famous pizza now in Jacksonville, Tapestry Park off Southside Boulevard. In honor of our favorite player, number 16, Salvatore's large pizza with lots of mozzarella and one topping, only $16. Coupon at salvatores.com. Dine in, pick up, and delivery. $16 for a large Salvatore's pizza with lots of mozzarella and one topping. Coupon at salvatores.com. Tax and delivery extra.
Meet Jennifer, talking about her experience with BioTarget Regenerative Therapy at Injury Care Centers.
I'm a music teacher and play the piano, and I was unable to play the piano at all due to pain from carpal tunnel. I did notice a significant difference after the first treatment. I was in immense pain and unable to work, and I woke up the following day able to fully move my wrist again. I was a pill popper. I would take ibuprofen all the time to help manage my pain, and it did not really do a great job. What really sold me was knowing that if it was not successful, I'd be able to get all of my money back. So I would highly recommend it to anybody who's experiencing any type of pain.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget Regenerative Therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit gobiotarget.com today.
There are so many ways you can catch me, Mia O'Brien.
Helmets and Heels.
Weekdays, noon to 2.
And on 1010XL's video and social channels. All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
It's Mo Time with Mo Bryan.
On 1010XL.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny? That's right, Steve. Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions, repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity, making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve. Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Prosser here, and if you are one of the ones that looks at your backyard area living space and thinks, wow, it needs an upgrade, Lifetime Enclosures is having a huge open house sale this Saturday. And boy, can I tell you, they do an awesome job. Anything from glass or screen enclosures to full-on lanais and flooring, all in one place. The place you want to watch sports, enjoy your backyard, and just hang out could be so much better with Lifetime Enclosures. Come on out to Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring this Saturday, all day. You won't regret it.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about putting your worries in the right bucket. So often we put our worries in our own bucket, but many times they need to be in God's bucket. The Bible says, present your problems always to God. In other words, leave them in God's bucket. Understand that no matter what is out of your control, it's never out of the control of Almighty God.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Pete Prisco of CBS Sports was a guest of Jaguars Happy Hour and shared his thoughts on the Jaguars' loss to the Dolphins.
They got way too conservative in the second half. They were playing not to lose rather than to win. The first half, 5 of 7 for 102 yards and a touchdown on passes over 10 yards. You know how many attempts he had in the second half over 10 yards? 1.
That was the drop?
Yeah. 1. So you changed the way you were playing.
Pete Prisco of CBS Sports on Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars fans vote for Brian Thomas Jr. for the NFL Rookie of the Week at NFL.com/rookies. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Frangie and Carlyon. JJ LaSalva with you on a Nimnik family of dealerships Tuesday. That means Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue. It means Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. The place to buy cars around here, I promise you. The only place I've been buying cars since, 1982. I trust them. You can trust them, too. All kind of great deals always going on at Nimnik. You can always trust them. Man, they got some trucks on the ground at that Nimnik Chevrolet store. So head there today, our friends at Nimnik Chevrolet and Nimnik Buick GMC. So the Noles start 0-2 after being ranked 10th in the country. It shocked everybody, including Florida State people. You got the impression last year's team, after winning 10 the year before, part of that 19 wins in a row, it kind of turned the corner a little. I think that was a general perception, Hays, that FSU had sort of turned the corner. Now, all of a sudden, 2 very poor performances. Most bothersome, I think, is how badly they got out physical by Georgia Tech and Boston College. 2 good teams that don't look like they're great teams. So now all of a sudden, you're this Florida State football team, and it's funny how you talk about hard schedules and easy schedules. We talked about, you and I kind of joked a little bit about what will help Florida State is because is the fact that their schedule is easy. Well, I've always said this, how easy your schedule is, in large part is based on how good your team is. Well, Georgia and Florida both have brutal schedules, but nobody's all worried about Georgia's. But they're worried about Florida because Florida's team isn't nearly as good. All of a sudden, Georgia Tech, then Boston College, then Memphis, then Cal, then this team, then that team. What an easy schedule. Well, all of a sudden you blink, and it doesn't feel easy anymore because your team's struggling. This is a really important game for Mike Norvell. Not that he's not a good coach. I said this at the top. He's a good coach. I believe that. I believe his team plays hard. I think he's a smart play caller. I think he's a smart offensive mind. I think his team's generally developed. They're fundamentally good. He generally has good players, which means he's a good recruiter. So I don't think it's an indictment on him. But I do think if they lose to Memphis, and they could lose to Memphis, they're a touchdown favorite, which means it's going to be a close game. And most teams are given 3 to 4 points for home field, give or take in college, which means there's about the odds makers think there's a 3-point difference here. this is not necessarily an indictment of him, but if they lose the game, it certainly could be an indictment of the model. And I know you talked about Andrew Andelson. Sorry, I haven't read that, but I will. So what if they do lose this game? There's nothing you can do. This is your team. I would think you've got to start getting a young quarterback ready unless you lose 52-51 and DJU throws it all over the place.
Which isn't going to happen.
Right.
So, yeah, I would agree. I would think this is it for DJU in terms of if he wants to be the Florida State quarterback. They've got to win this game. I got to say, I mean, looking at Memphis's offense, it's going to be radically different than what Florida State saw against Georgia Tech and Boston College that were very run dominant. Not that Memphis can't run. They have a running back right now, Mario Anderson, that's averaging 6.3 yards a carry. He's a transfer from South Carolina, where he averaged 4.9 yards a carry last year for the Gamecocks with 707 rushing yards. But what would concern me is quarterback Seth Hennigan. He's a senior. He's completing 70% of his passes so far this year, 3 touchdowns, no picks. But this is a quarterback that has been entrenched at Memphis. I mean, he has thrown for over 11,000 yards there, 82 touchdowns with his senior year still to come. So you're talking about a quarterback that you're going to face that's probably going to finish his career with over 100 career touchdown passes. He's 64.1% completion for his career with 9 rushing touchdowns in his career. So this is a quarterback that has seen a lot of things. He's had a lot of success. This is a team that has won 12 of its last 15 games dating back to last season, including its last 4, including a bowl win over Iowa State. This is, I think, a real challenge for Florida State. Now, maybe Memphis defensively will be inadequate but the way Florida State looks on offense, I think if Memphis is just sort of okay on defense, they'll at least be able to limit them somewhat. I don't know in a bye week that you can just find a run game. Like if you couldn't run on Georgia Tech or Boston College, I don't know that a bye week this early in the year is going to fix all of that. Your team is sort of who it is. I mean, there's things that you can get better at, but it's just been so woeful that in a game like this, I think if you're Florida State, you'd like to go out and just run for 250 yards and protect DJU, not ask him to do much, and get out of there with a win. Again, I'm not sure what kind of a run defense Memphis is going to have this season, but if it's just okay, I think they can get enough stops to make it interesting because I have no confidence that Florida State's passing game is going to keep up with what Memphis has on that side. So I think it's a real challenge for Florida State here. And again, this goes back to you're renovating the stadium. What kind of crowd is it going to be anyway for a noon kick against Memphis? That, you know, a brand of a logo that isn't going to excite your fan base, an 0-2 start, which might keep some people away. So I don't know that it's going to be all that electric in Tallahassee on Saturday. So I think for Memphis, environmentally, I don't think it's going to be a huge challenge for them. I think that they're going to be able to run their offense with noise really not being much of a factor.
Now look, Florida State has played 2 physical Power 5 teams. Memphis has not yet played a Power 5 team. That matters. Memphis has played North Alabama, a lower division team, and they've played Troy, a Division I team or an FBS team, but not a Power 5 team. They've beaten them both. So you haven't played nearly the competition. But they've outscored their opponents 78-17. 40-0 and then 38-17. 78-17 is a bunch now. And again, it's not nearly the competition. The world's about to change for Memphis football. They've played 2 home games against bad teams. Now they're going to play a road game against a team that started in the top 10. That's a different world. But to your point about Seth Hennigan, he's been 20 of 30 and 22 of 30. He hits a couple plays down the field, and you're playing catch-up with a team that is not built to play catch-up. At least I don't think they are.
They're not.
You know, one thing I did think about this. They looked the best against Georgia Tech when they were desperate and had to throw the football. They looked the best against Boston College in some throwing moments. So maybe getting down 17-0 will make them play differently. But I don't feel like they are either. That's not how the team's built. And again, they went all in with DJ Uiagalelei, who is a fifth-year player who's been just okay as a college player. That's just the reality. He's a big, strong kid, well-liked by everybody, hard worker, tough nose, but he's not a very good runner. For being that big, he's not a good runner. He's inaccurate at times. Sometimes he's accurate, sometimes he's not. He doesn't elevate. Sometimes quarterbacks, and you're coming off 2 or 3 years with the greatest elevating quarterback. I'm not sure how good a player Jordan Travis was going to be in the NFL, but as someone that elevated his college team, he's made some of the most amazing plays I've ever seen. And you wonder now how much of that was how much of their greatness was part of that. So I'm telling you, I will say this. I'll be watching at noon on Saturday, not certain who's going to win. Now, again, I'm going to pick FSU, and my guess is FSU will win for all the reasons I said a moment ago. But I'm not convinced they're going to win. I guess that's the point.
I think Memphis is the more confident team. I mean, again, yes, usually it would be Memphis shows up and sees the spear on the helmet and sees Chief Osceola, and plant the spear, and the game's over.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
well
not
said.
This game. I mean, Memphis is 12-3 in their last 15 games. They've won both their games this season in convincing fashion. Those players aren't going to know the level of opponent. They're just going to know, hey, we've taken the field twice and we've dominated. And on the other side, Florida State has so much pressure on them and very little confidence. I mean, the problem Florida State has, it's sort of the antithesis of the Jaguars. Like, the Jaguars lost Sunday, but they have a lot of things they can hang their hat on and say, this was really good. And if we can build upon this, we're going to have some things on both sides of the ball that we can count on as the season progresses. What does Florida State have that they can hang their hat on? They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. We don't know if they can stop the pass because no one's tried. We'll find that out on Saturday in terms of how they defend Hennigan. And they have, I think, at best, an average quarterback. I mean, it's just... I mean, honestly, I'm not sure the line shouldn't be closer. I mean, if I had to bet it, I think I'd take Memphis in the touchdown. Memphis, even last year, they lost 3 games. The worst loss they took is by 10. So this is a program, and Mike Norvell obviously built the foundation for it, and Ryan Silverfield is continued it. But this is they don't get hammered. Now, again, I will listen to, but they don't play Florida State every week. Sure. But other than the logo on the uniform, is there anything that tells you that this is Florida State, what Florida State would normally be? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting game, noon kick on Saturday. We'll keep it on college football and talk some SEC football. Matt Hays joins me every Tuesday to talk SEC, brought to you by Underwood Jewelers. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
They may not make a lot of plays.
Good snap. Good hold.
But sometimes they make the most important play.
One of the best kickers in the league year in and year out.
Listen for the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our 2 blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market. Most passing yards, gives the most for your trade. Most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase. Super Bowl champion. Wow, customer service. This looks like a winning season for everyone. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where you can score big all season long.
Veterans, did you know VA mortgage rates have plummeted and you can now access up to 100% of your home's equity and turn that into cash right now? Hey, it's Roger Moore, President and CEO of Loan Pronto, announcing our VA Equity Advantage program. This VA offer can get you $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 cash out with no junk fees and no hassle. With APRs in the 5s, you can pay off all those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and get one easy-to-manage payment. Veterans we help save on average $850 per month. And listen, if you're a veteran with a current mortgage rate over 6.25%, we can do a streamlined refinance with no income verification and no appraisal, saving you hundreds a month. At Loan Pronto, we respect what you've done for our country, and we show it. Call now and ask about our special VA Equity Advantage program. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match, or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Are mosquitoes turning your outdoor fun into a full contact sport? It's time to call in Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, they are the MVPs of mosquito elimination. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get an unbeatable 50% off your first treatment. That's right, sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get 50% off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
It's hard to stop the Tomahawk Chop.
I'm RJ Saunders. Follow Florida State's road to the college football playoff on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Duval. Jaguars football is officially back. Be there for the Jaguars 2024 home opener when they go head-to-head with the Cleveland Browns. Join us as we celebrate Hispanic heritage and take the field at Everbank Stadium for the first time during our 30th season. Lock in your seats now for the 1 p.m. kick by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need help fixing a plumbing issue? Let our winning team go to work for you. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Most goals have a clear course, like planning a trip. But when it comes to losing 40 or 50 pounds, that's a different story. Except with Awaken 180. A clear course to fast, proven weight loss with free support for life. It's AwakenOne80weightloss.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon for MyBookie. Football is back. Winning season is back. MyBookie's here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big, and if it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for a shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus when you're ready to get started. Use my promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Remember, exclusive giveaways and bigger rewards. MyBookie is the lock of the century. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make sure your season is a winning one.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This season, check out our revamped website at southernsteerbutcher.com. Click on the Promotions tab, and our Jacksonville weekly grilling specials will hit you in the face like a hot route over the middle.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. After DJ Lagway's head-turning performance last weekend, there's been a lot of chatter on what Billy Napier will do with the quarterback situation. Here's what Coach Napier had to say about his plan for his QBs going forward.
Well, I think our intention the entire time has been to play DJ in every game, right? And I think obviously he gets a little bit more experienced each week, and certainly for him to have the opportunity to be the starter, pair with the ones, and then go play. And the way he did that, the poise, the composure, I just think it shows that he's ready to do what we intend to do with him going forward.
From the sounds of it, Graham Mertz will continue to be the team's starter, but Lagway should continue to see the field in certain situations to gain experience and confidence, as he proved how valuable he is to the offense. It's 82 degrees at 5:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, my buddy Matt Hays joins us. You hear him on primetime every day. You read him on USA Today. What a terrific a job he does covering college football. Matt and I go to that SEC Media Days together every year, so we figured we'd talk some SEC every Tuesday. Matty, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. How you guys?
We are good. Hey, a bunch of stuff here. Let me start with last week, Matt. Stuff that didn't go so well. I'll get to the good in a minute. But as we talk,
okay.
All right. First of all, Auburn. That's on the plains, Matt. They were on the plains. They had that tiger and that eagle and all flying around, and Cal swoops in there and beats them. What in the world is Hugh Freeze not got a very good team? Were they asleep at the wheel? What happened there?
I don't know that they're not a very good team. I don't think he has a very good quarterback. I don't think Peyton Thorne is just a very good quarterback at the end of the day. I mean, we can talk all we want about how, it's the interceptions and, when he's out on that field, Frank, he doesn't look like a guy that's comfortable out there. He doesn't look like a guy that's confident out there. He doesn't look like he knows where he wants to go with the ball. Every time I see him play, I'm like, I don't know how he won games with Michigan State. I mean, were they that good on defense that year, 3 years ago, when they eventually went to the Peach Bowl under Mel Tucker? I mean, were they that good at running the ball? It's just crazy to me how much he's regressed since that season. And honestly, Frank, Hugh's got no one to blame but himself. He could have went a different way with the quarterbacks. He could have, gone to the transfer portal and got someone. He could start someone different right now. They've got, three potential quarterbacks in that roster. But he keeps saying, it's hard for me to look at these guys, day after day, week after week in practice, and knowing one of these guys is the best in practice every single time. Then why would I start someone else? What does that say about practice? You don't have to be good at practice to start. So he's staying with him. But at some point, if the interceptions continue to pile up, he's got to make a move.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a bad loss for him. I know it's only a second, and I'm a big Hugh Freeze guy. I think he's a good coach. But that is a bad loss for the Auburn football team. Speaking of bad losses, boy, oh boy, Mark Stoops. He's the dean of coaches in the SEC, and I like Mark. I know you do too. We both know him well. But South Carolina went in there without much of a passing game and gutted Kentucky 31-6. This is South Carolina. It's not the other USC that went in there. South Carolina beat them 31-6, Matt. What in the world is wrong with Kentucky, or what's right with South Carolina?
Okay, so a couple things. Let me correct you. No passing game, not much of a passing game.
Right.
They can't throw the ball. That's number one. It's South Carolina's might be one of the, if not the worst team in the league. So to me, what really, really shocked me, Frank, is in all these years we've watched Mark Stoops teams, and all the years we've watched them overachieve. And frankly, in the last 3, 4, 5 years when they've really had the best over Florida, they are just tough teams that are going to fight you till the bitter end. And they quit against South Carolina. I've never seen a Mark Stoops team quit. That's what shocked me. Now you got Georgia coming in there.
Yeah.
And, if you think South Carolina gave you problems, where do you see Georgia? Now, they'll play better. They'll play harder because I'm sure they've been told that they quit in that game and that, this is not who we are. It's not what we're all about. They'll play harder, but it's not going to be much better. I can tell you that.
I got to tell you, when I saw the schedule before the season, I thought Kentucky at home against Georgia. Okay, Georgia's great, but they didn't get there last year. Kentucky's always tough. They're a tough place to play. It looked like a good game in July, didn't it, Matt? Now it looks like a lousy game, right? I mean, but didn't you think that in July?
I thought, what I was thinking. They're always tough. Number one, they're good on the line. They're good on line of scrimmage. Number two, they're really good on the defensive line of scrimmage.
Right.
And then, of course, I thought, well, you never know. Maybe Vandegrift was a guy who sat at Georgia and couldn't play because there were just too many good guys in front of him. Maybe he's a good player.
Sure.
And boy, oh boy, he's not that good. He is not that good.
All right, one other team that I thought had a little bit of a concern. When you looked at the score, if all you did is wake up Sunday morning and look at scores, you saw Alabama 42, USF 16, the score you expected. But the reality of that game is it was 14-13, late third quarter. Matt, I don't know if you watched that or not, but I did watch it. I got home from dinner. We were on the road to play the Dolphins, and boy, South Florida hung around with Alabama. There's got to be concern for Kalen DeBoer, even though they pulled away late, right?
Well, there's a couple ways to look at this. I mean, obviously, the first thought is, oh my gosh, so how are you hanging around? How is South Florida hanging around in Tuscaloosa? I think it's a number of things. Probably the easiest way to say it, Frank, it's a combination of things. Look, they're realizing they got to go to Madison this week. It's clearly a look-ahead game.
Okay.
And then you start talking about, well, it's not exactly an elite team. But then you go to the side of, well, this is the team that scared the hell out of them a year ago. Why wouldn't they be ready for this team? Why wouldn't they be zeroed in on this team? So that would be my big question mark there. Now, to be fair, in the last quarter, they turned it on, hit the pedal and pulled away. But, yeah, I'm with you. For 3 quarters, I'm kind of like, what in the world is going on here? And I wouldn't say this is unique to Kalen DeBoer because, quite frankly, it happened last year with Nick Saban. So I don't think we could say look at Kalen DeBoer and kind of like connect it to, I guess is my best way of saying it.
All right, one other thought from the weekend, then we'll look ahead to this week's games. One team that was really impressive, and look out, is the Tennessee Volunteers. Look, maybe NC State wasn't as good as people thought. They shouldn't have been a ranked team, but Dave Doran's teams are tough usually. I mean, Tennessee, the game was in Charlotte, so it was a neutral site game. But, I mean, they absolutely gutted them, Matt. They gutted NC State, 51-10 in that game. Oh, boy. Is this the year that Tennessee's gone from pedestrian to decent to good, but they haven't been elite. Even beating Alabama, they weren't elite. They look elite to me now, Matt.
Yeah, they were close 2 years ago, no doubt about it. Tony Gibson's a really good defensive coordinator. NC State's got good players on defense. And you were with me in July in Dallas when we asked Josh Heupel this question: why does no one else run your offense?
You asked it. It was a great question.
His point was because you got to be able to do it,
right.
And that's kind of where it is right now. Like I think people now are starting to see the advantages of the way he runs his offense, the way he spreads his receivers all the way out past the numbers, and that you've got to have a quarterback that can make that quick, hard throw with a lot of velocity. And he's had it now, and now he's got a quarterback that not only can do that, but a quarterback that just throws an absolutely beautiful deep ball. And he's really accurate, and he's a guy that can move with his legs if he has to. And I think defensively, Frank, I mean, look, NC State's solid. I think they've done nice things. They've got a decent quarterback. 143 yards.
I know.
That's it.
I know.
That's all you got. 143 on them.
Pretty amazing.
They get after the quarterback off the edge. They cover better in the secondary now. They're going to be a load for people to deal with this year.
Well, and I think this might be the year. Tennessee has been knocking on the door of elite. They might be there. Let's look ahead to this week's games, Matt. A couple games. Just a handful of good ones or interesting ones. Alabama goes to Wisconsin. Before last week, I thought that one would be easy. Tyler Van Dyke is just okay. We talked about this game last week because I got the week wrong. I was thinking it was this week, but it is now. Alabama at Wisconsin. Any trouble for the Crimson Tide?
I don't think so. I mean, Tyler Van Dyke's just a guy, honestly. He's just I don't see him doing anything enough to stress the Alabama defense, which frankly is really good at getting after the quarterback and really good in coverage. And that's going to be a problem for them. I mean, they might hang around for a quarter and a half, maybe even a half, but eventually Alabama will figure it out, and eventually they'll start pulling away. They're too good and too much better than Wisconsin on both sides of the ball to not go in there and win by at least 2 scores.
LSU is at South Carolina. South Carolina played a great game last week. We just talked about it. LSU is on the road in this game. This one looks, and it's a noon kick. It looks like it'd be sticky a little bit for LSU. How do you see this game?
I don't. So here's the thing with LSU. I think offensively they're going to score on everyone, and they're going to be a problem for everyone offensively. I don't know that they have the horses on defense still, and that's strange to me.
Yeah.
Like I know they swung and missed a couple times in the portal for immediate impact guys, and they've got young dudes on defense that I think are going to be good players, but they're going to need a lot from the guys, from Paul, from Perkins. They're going to need a lot from those guys in SEC road games. It's difficult to win in this league on the road, even if you're playing the worst team in the league. And South Carolina is going to be fired up after that game against Kentucky. I don't know who's playing quarterback for him. Quite frankly, I don't know if Sellers is hurt. I don't know what's going on with Robbie Ashford. If it's Robbie Ashford, I don't know how South Carolina wins. If it's Sellers, I don't know how South Carolina wins the game. But, if you fool around in that game and you're LSU, if you turn the ball over a couple times and suddenly you're down and that place starts getting a little wild and that place can get wild, yeah, they could be in a fourth quarter game, definitely.
All right, finally A&M at Florida. We'll get to the Gators in a minute. I want your thoughts on all the Gator stuff, but let's start with A&M. Are they any good? When A&M played Notre Dame, I thought that was a battle of 2 warriors, 2 tough physical teams. Then Notre Dame gets beat at home by Northern Illinois. I'm not sure Connor Wigman's very good, and I thought he'd be better. Matt, what do you think of Texas? Before we get to the game, what do you think of A&M?
I think they're very athletic, especially on defense. They can cause a lot of problems on defense. I think it's just a matter of Wigman to get used to Colin Klein, and Colin Klein, the OC, to get used to Wigman. I think he's got a terrific talent. I've been saying that for a year and a half now. This is a dangerous game for Florida because they don't match up well with them. They don't match up on the lines of scrimmage with them. But that being said, if they can figure out a way to protect Frank, again, that offensive line is shaky. If they can figure out a way to protect, and you throw Lagway back there, and he starts working not only his arm but stuff with his legs too, I mean, they could win a fourth quarter game. Yeah, I don't expect them to, but I think they could.
Final thing about Florida. I'm a big Graham Mertz defender. You and I have had this talk 1,000 times. I like meeting him when we saw him in Dallas. I think he's all that's right about college football, Matt. I think he's a good dude. I think he's I'm so impressed with everything, and I think he's a good player. But I would play Lagway. And I'm usually not to throw the freshman in there guy, but there's something special about this guy. The touch, the quarterback instincts, in addition to all the obvious physical talent, the arm strength and the athleticism, the size, the physicality. I would play Lagway out of the gate. My guess is he's going to start Mertz, and Hays and I were thinking maybe yesterday maybe you see Lagway Series 3 or so, and then to see where the game goes. How do you think Billy will play it, and what would you do if you were Billy Napier?
Well, first of all, I think none of us can guess how he's going to play it because he's in his own world.
Yeah.
And I think after 2 years and 2 games, I think we all should admit to that.
I do.
He does what he does, and that's it. And I'm with you on Graham Mertz. I wasn't his biggest fan as far as on the field last year, and I thought he got better as the season progressed. Yeah, as a college football player, as a guy who's done everything right and who's everything that's right about the game, I completely agree with you. I think he's going to start Mertz, and I think until Mertz it doesn't happen or until they get behind by 2 scores, then he's going to put Lagway in. Because I think he's a very loyal coach. I think we know that. You can tell it by talking to him. And I think he wants to give Mertz that opportunity. Frank, they talked for 8 months about how they thought Mertz was going to have a huge season.
I know.
That they were going to protect well, that they had the receivers now, they were going to throw the ball all over the park, and he was going to have a huge season. I think he wants to give him one more chance to have a big season. And quite frankly, Frank, if you're Billy Napier, you got $26 million in your pocket no matter what, who cares?
Yeah.
Go out your way, and I think that's what he's going to do.
I get the same sense. Final thing, Texas, Ole Miss, and Georgia look like to me 3 of the best teams in the country, and I did throw Ole Miss in there. Final question for you. Are they all 3 elite? Is it Texas and Georgia are elite and Ole Miss is almost elite? Could all 3 be in the Final Four? How do you see those 3 teams?
I think they all 3 could be in the playoff, no doubt. Here's a great number for you. Jackson Dart is averaging 14.7 yards an attempt.
Wow.
14.7 yards per attempt. I'll tell you this. I looked at Texas, and that first drive against Michigan, Frank, the first drive, that eventually got, the touchdown got called back. They got no points. Quinn Ewers hit 4 third down throws in that drive. 4, including the last, which was a touchdown pass. And they were all 4 tremendous throws. Third down throws. I love that. You look at that and you think, wow, okay, they got something going on right there. And I think that game on October 19 in Austin, holy cow. Georgia at Texas is going to be a giant game. I'm with you. I think those 3 are definitely in. Could they get a 4th? Absolutely. Tennessee could be absolutely the 4th team.
Matt Hays checking in, talking SEC. It's brought to you by Underwood Jewelers. We do it every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Matty, you're the best. Thanks, buddy. See you, man.
Okay, bud.
All right, Matt Hays talking SEC football. Does a great job of that. We'll take a break. Hays has headlines on the other side, so stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's all about picking winners.
Yes, it is.
Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
Who wants pepperoni?
The 10-10 Weekly Pick'em Contest is brought to you by MyBookie. You pick 'em at 1010xl.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood. Clayton, I've seen ads for diamonds where you see the words all diamonds certified by IGI, EGL, or GIA. Just what does all that mean?
Frank, it's confusing because those letters represent various diamond grading laboratories. However, it's important to point out that labs don't certify anything. They issue diamond grading reports. The only entity that can certify the diamond is the seller. There's one exception to that, and that's members of the American Gem Society have the ability to certify diamonds through their partnership with the American Gem Society Laboratory. That's because it's the only partnership in the world where an organization devoted to consumer protection through gemological education and ethics has a laboratory built on the exact same principles. We have these certificates at Underwood's, but more importantly, we have American Gem Society certified gemologists that look at all of these diamonds and put our grade and our certification of the diamond's quality on it. And believe me, that's important.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Are you thinking about upgrading your outdoor space with artificial turf? Well, you're going to love working with Caleb at Sunshine Turf. He's genuine, always on time, and really trustworthy. Frank Frangie here. We had Sunshine Turf design and install turf at the Bragan Baseball Complex, and it's gorgeous and maintenance-free. From putting greens to pet runs around pools and more, Sunshine Turf can do it all. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool.
Feeling the heat, Jacksonville? Cool down with Bold City Heating and Air. From repairs to energy-efficient installs, we do it all. Your system worked hard all summer long to keep you cool. Give it a spa day. Schedule a system tune-up. Call Bold City Heating and Air today and experience the bold difference.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
Zebra.
Zebra is back by overwhelming demand. Saturday night, September 14th, live at the Florida Theater in Jacksonville, performing songs from all 5 Zebra albums.
Zebra.
Get tickets now before they're gone at floridatheater.com. Zebra with all original members, Saturday night, September 14th. Tickets on sale now. Don't miss.
Zebra.
Everyone's got an opinion, including me. I'm Hays Carlyon, and when things get messy, I step in to clean up. Cleaning Up with Hays is brought to you by Molly Maid. Afternoons on The Frangie Show on 1010XL.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting! September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Welcome to ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, your local print management partner and home to Xerox and HP copiers. From IT management to VoIP phone systems, Advanced Business Solutions is the right name to know.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my successful back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease. Visit tcjfund.org/September for more information.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Yes, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Frank Frangie, we've got JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon, and thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start with Jaguar power rankings after a disappointing loss to the Dolphins. Where do the big outlets? Where do they have the Jaguars? We're going to start with ESPN,
okay,
because that is the Jaguars' highest ranking. The ESPN power rankings dropped the Jaguars 2 spots to 16th.
Okay.
So smack dab in the middle of the league.
That's the best one, you said.
That's the best one.
Okay.
Pro Football Talk has the Jaguars 20th. Mike Florio writes, that's the kind of loss that gets people fired. Yikes.
Okay.
I added the yikes. And then our good friend Pete Prisco has them 17th.
Yeah.
16th, 17th, and 20th after blowing the Miami game.
You got to earn your stripes. I get that. I have a hard time thinking Miami, where's Miami on those lists? Probably top 10.
Yeah.
A top 10 team beats you on a 52-yarder at the gun after being outplayed most of the game, and you're 20th?
Yeah, I'm a homer, but I don't buy it.
Yeah. I would say 20th is too low. But again, you got
to.
The problem is, and this is a story for more of down the road, but the problem is they look like a mentally weak team, and that's I think what gives people pause. The talent's there.
Well,
so again, and it was just one game. This team could be totally different. But
you're right.
I understand how somebody could look at it and say, well, yeah, they have talent, but they're choking all these games away.
They can't finish. Yeah, and back to what we talked about yesterday, whether I like it or not, whether the team likes it or not, people will connect this to last year. And if you do that, they've lost 7 of 8. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Yeah. Let's get to around the NFL. The 49ers beat the Jets 32-19 last night without Christian McCaffrey, but boy, what a night for Kyle Shanahan to take Jordan Mason, the backup, and have him run wild on what I think is an excellent Jets defense. Aaron Rodgers had his moments in his return, but just not enough of them. To me, it wasn't so much that the Jets. I think the Jets are an average team. I never really bought into them as like a Super Bowl contender anyway. So it doesn't diminish anything on that side. But I think, San Francisco looks like a juggernaut.
They do. And with an involved Brandon Ayuk and a healthy Christian McCaffrey, they might be the best team in the league. And obviously, nobody's the best team in the league, I guess, until they dethroned Kansas City. And the 49ers had a chance to do that and didn't. I get it. But the 49ers are really good. There's no getting around that.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Again, they scored 32 points with Brandon Ayuk really not factoring in. In fact, he dropped a touchdown in the end zone on a beautiful pass by Brock Purdy. And it drew the ire of Peyton Manning on the Manning cast.
Oh, he got one to throw. Ayuk, he's a little rusty, Pate. He's missed all training camp.
Get signed, get in training camp. There's a reason for training camp. You need it. We need the reps.
Oh.
Get those contracts done earlier so we can get in training camp. We don't drop balls on opening night.
Right, it's probably one thing catching passes, running routes. All of a sudden you're laying out for a pass, full speed, diving. That's why, those happen in camp. You make those, you practice those. That's just a little rusty right there.
You're still catching balls in a high school field from some quarterback that's 45 years old, my age. You're not catching balls from your quarterback. Get signed, get in camp, and we don't drop the ball.
Love it.
They got on him, didn't they?
Love it. Belichick was actually on in this segment. Obviously, it was Peyton Manning and then Eli there as well. And Belichick was on, and to Belichick's credit, he just laid out. Because it was clear Peyton was livid about it, and Ayuk did drop the ball. And yeah, you have to draw the line and correlate it to probably missing training camp and making the contract such a huge issue. I thought it was refreshing because you don't normally hear players go after players for getting, and Ayuk got paid, but in this instance, it was a pretty clear line of that's a play he probably makes had he gone through training camp.
And players that played a lot of years grind it out through training camp, and they don't like guys who don't. That's what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wasn't watching the Manning cast. I was watching the regular broadcast, but I saw this on Twitter and thought it was really strong stuff from Peyton Manning. So hopefully you enjoyed it. The Cleveland Browns have signed receiver Kadarius Toney.
Yeah,
so we'll see. I think the Jaguars are the only team he's ever scored a touchdown on. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets that opportunity on Sunday.
Yeah, it really will be. That speaks of desperation to me.
Yeah.
They actually tried him out first and then signed him. He wasn't even highly thought of enough to sign him. They wanted to try him out first, which speaks volumes to me. I'd be surprised if he makes much of an impact.
I would as well. Now again, this is where that week one, post week one signing a veteran comes into play. So they'll have Kadarius Toney's attention because if he slips up, Cleveland can cut him and they won't owe him any more money. So we'll see. This kind of feels like it's the last gasp for Kadarius Toney in this league. So we'll see if he's able to do anything for Cleveland. And again, we'll see if he's even active Sunday against the Jaguars. Mike Tomlin expects Justin Fields to start this week at quarterback again for the Steelers as Russell Wilson still recovering from that calf injury.
Yeah, calves take forever.
That's what kept McCaffrey out last night.
It really is. Calf injuries take a long time to recover.
Justin Fields was okay. Didn't throw it down the field. They didn't score a touchdown. They kicked 6 field goals. They played that typical good defense against Atlanta. Here's what I think about the Steelers. I think they're an okay team. Good, not great. They're as good as their defense will be every day. So for that reason, I'm not sure quarterback matters a whole lot. Does that make sense? I don't know. It matters because quarterback always matters. But they're a team that they'll be as good as that defense allows them to be, and Pickens in their running game and their very good special teams. That's who they will be. And I think that'll stand out more to me than how the quarterback plays.
Yeah, I know you were leaving Miami in the 4 o'clock window. So did you see much of Tom Brady?
Didn't hear any of it.
I'll give you my thought. We didn't get to this yesterday because we just had so many actual football results. I thought Tom Brady was fine. I mean, there's certain things he needs to clean up. He needs to be a little bit more concise. Probably needs to be a little bit more critical. He had the Dallas-Cleveland game and really went, I thought, pretty easy on Deshaun Watson. Or at the very least, explain how not having your 2 offensive tackles basically hamstrings you as a quarterback. And he never really got into the nuances of that. But still, I was surprised he got ripped as much as he did. What I will criticize is Fox, because they need to relax and stop these contrived ways to elevate Brady. So at halftime, they come out for the second half, and they've got 2 great reporters, Tom Rinaldi and Aaron Andrews, on each sideline. Well, it was obvious that each of those reports was going to be a prop Tom Brady up as much as we can from the producers.
Oh, was it?
So they come back, and Tom is asked, what does Cleveland need to do better? And he says, well, the first thing is they've got to stop going in reverse. They've got to eliminate the negative plays. It was very much a coach speak, I thought, answer in hearing it. So they go to Rinaldi on the Cleveland sideline. Tom, what did Kevin Stefanski say? And he says, well, Tom really knows his stuff. My goodness.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski says they've got to eliminate the negative plays. They've got to stop going in reverse. So it was clear that Rinaldi, the producer, said, Tom, what did Coach Stefanski tell you? And he told him, and then they relayed it to Brady to say this because you're going to look really good. So then it gets worse. So then they go to Aaron Andrews for the Dallas report. And her whole report, and she's fantastic, but the whole report was how Tom Brady had praised Mike McCarthy's play calling in the first half and how honored and how much it meant to Mike McCarthy that Tom Brady was praising his play calling. That was it. You can't do that.
Yeah.
We know he's Tom Brady. He's the greatest player ever.
Right.
You don't have to sell us on that mean, stop it. So so I give Tom a C+. I give Fox an F. And again, it's not anything against Rinaldi and Andrews. They're fantastic. But I think they were under orders to make Tom Brady look as good as possible.
I didn't see any of it.
Yeah.
I will say this. I expected him to get credit before they ever called the game, because however he was, it wasn't going to be as good as Tom Brady, the quarterback.
Right.
So you pretty much knew no matter what he did, good, bad, or indifferent, he was going to get panned. I did not hear it.
Yeah, and I didn't see the whole game. JJ brought up an interesting point that they were even showing Tom Brady watching his own commercials, which JJ, you said was incredibly weird as well.
Yes, and he was laughing at his own commercials, ooh, that was a good job.
They went split screen, right? Is what you were saying.
While he was in the booth watching his own Tostitos commercial.
What are we doing?
And then they also had Fox commercials during the game for his next appearance, which is also a Dallas game. I have a feeling he's going to be doing about 12 Dallas games this year.
Yeah, it makes sense. We'll get into college football now. ESPN's Andrea Adelson has a feature on Florida State struggles on ESPN.com if you want to check that out. Frank, this is what stood out to me, and it's a great piece. It's very lengthy, but they get some viewpoints from opposing coaches. One opposing coach described FSU's defense as tender. Ouch.
Yeah.
You do not want your defense described as tender.
That's even a softer word than soft.
Yeah.
That's about as soft a word. Yeah, I'm going to go. I haven't read the story, but as we said during the program, at the top end during the meat of the program, Florida State has suddenly become a gigantic story. They were a gigantic story last year because they were so much better than people even thought they would be. Well, they've now become a gigantic story 2 weeks in
because they're struggling so much more than people thought they would. I mean, Florida State just doesn't get gutted at home by Boston freaking College. And again, I'll say it again, that should have been 35-13 if Boston College doesn't take a knee. FSU doesn't take 28-13 or 35-13 at home from Boston. That just doesn't happen. Right. So they're a major story, and I'd keep an eye on that game this week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I agree. I think Memphis will give them all they want. Let's get it to Major League Baseball. The Braves are now on the wrong side of the wild card race. They are a game back with 18 to play.
Yeah, they've had a tough schedule now. They keep running in the good teams, the Phillies among them. I think the Braves are going to get in. They've pitched well, but it's been a bizarre season for Atlanta. All the injuries, it's been just I'm not making excuses for them, but I'll say it again. I can't remember in recent memory any team having that many injuries. I just don't.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Pittsburgh rookie sensation Paul Skeens set the franchise record for strikeouts with 151. Skeens is 10-2 this season. He's the fourth rookie ever with 150 or more strikeouts in 20 or fewer starts, joining Kerry Wood, Dwight Gooden, and Mark Pryor.
He's 10-2. He's got a 2.10 ERA. Hays, I watch every pitch of every game. If they have he probably has 4 or 5 no decisions where he allowed a run or two. Some they had the lead and blew it. Some they just didn't hit at all. He really, honest to God, he should be about 15-2. Wow. It's pretty amazing. He's got 4 or 5 no decisions where either A, they never scored, or so he left a 1-1 game, or he left a 3-0 game and the bullpen blew it. He should be 50. It's amazing. I watched last night. Now, the Marlins aren't very good, but it's amazing how guys can't even put a barrel on. It really is.
That is. We'll get it to pop culture. The biggest news of the day, perhaps on planet Earth. Julie Bowen will reprise her role in Happy Gilmore 2. Virginia Bennett is back. Julie Bowen, Happy Gilmore 2. You've got my money.
Yeah, you know what? I can't add anything to that. I'm just going to sit here and smile when you. If you want to read that story again, you can. I'm just going to smile. I got nothing to add. I am a big Julie Bowen.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And we will get you out on our musical note of the day, because on this day, back in 1991, Nirvana releases Smells Like Teen Spirit, a song that, if you weren't around at the time, literally changed rock and roll in its immediacy. Rock music at that time was coming out of sort of the heavy metal era, and Guns N' Roses was really big, and they weren't really heavy metal, they were more hard rock, but you could just feel a reset coming. And Nirvana releases their second album, Nevermind. Smells Like Teen Spirit is the first single off of it. And they went from like no one knew who Nirvana was to a month later, they were the biggest band in the world, and they had totally changed the outlook of rock and roll.
It remains their anthem and the signature moment for Kurt Cobain. In fact, I don't follow music in the 90s. But I do wonder what they would have become if we hadn't have lost Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's wonderful. Well done, as always. Great job on Headlines. We'll be back. We'll wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NFL season continues on Thursday nights for the start of week number 2. It's an AFC East matchup as the Buffalo Bills head to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Bills quarterback Josh Allen has been cleared to play despite an injury to his non-throwing hand that he suffered in their win against Arizona. The Dolphins coming off a Week 1 victory at home against Jacksonville. The Dolphins, a 1.5-point home favorite, minus 122 on the money line. Buffalo plus 104 with an over-under of 48.5. Both teams are the betting favorites to win the AFC East, both plus 180. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
A customer called Rooter saying they had some nasty stuff backing up inside their home. So we went with our camera to look inside their plumbing lines. And sure enough, tree roots in the sewer line. Need to see what's blocking your lines? Call our team to locate the issue and provide solutions to resolve it. 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Rooter, your fully insured and certified plumbing contractor, residential and commercial.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Margie Williams in Jacksonville at 296-2500.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Denny Thompson here. If you want to work with new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound and Security is a growing company looking for you now. Tyson is now hiring for sales, technician, and administrative positions. You'll start at the industry's most competitive pay, and they will train you. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Tyson Sound and Security hiring sales, technicians, and administrative. Call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
It's truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done, like a brand new Silverado 1500. This month, you can save up to $10,000 off a new Silverado, or well-qualified buyers can get rates as low as 1.9% financing and no payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Now, with the largest inventory on the ground, outstanding cash incentives, and the best price guarantee, your perfect truck is waiting for you at Nimnick Chevrolet. Remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $2,250 in trade assistance. You want an even better deal? Ask about demo models for deeper discounts. Shop online 24/7 at NimnickChevy.com or visit the dealership conveniently located at Park Street in Castle. So who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick.
Go inside the huddle with our QB, David Garrard.
Hey, I know if you give me time, baby, we can do whatever we want.
And get into the head of an NFL signal caller. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com on 1010XL.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm Mack with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. So another Mike, who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, was in the same position I was in. And you are most likely confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? You know, everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. You know, when I was on the run in sales, I was making 8 bad choices. I wasn't eating the 2 good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. In the program, Gonna Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat, and it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat and the ability to navigate nutritional labels. A proven, clear path for weight loss. Exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the door and do what we did. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Prosser here, and if you are one of the ones that looks at your backyard area living space and thinks, wow, it needs an upgrade, Lifetime Enclosures is having a huge open house sale this Saturday. And boy, can I tell you, they do an awesome job. Anything from glass or screen enclosures to full-on lanai and flooring, all in one place. The place you want to watch sports, enjoy your backyard, and just hang out could be so much better with Lifetime Enclosures. Come on out to Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring this Saturday, all day. You won't regret it.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars' second-year running back, Tank Bigsby, ran for a career-high 73 yards on Sunday at Miami. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson was asked on Monday if that was Bigsby's best game as a pro.
Probably so, probably so. Still a little room for improvement, but he did some nice things, and there's some things that we got to continue to, as a young player, continue to detail with him as well.
Fred Taylor, Monday on The Drill, with his thoughts on Bigsby.
Tank looked good out there. He ran strong. He ran downhill. He broke arm tackles. He looked quick. And he did everything that they asked of.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Cleaning Up with Hays is made spotless by Molly Maid.
This one's really easy. Billy Napier's got to start DJ Lagway on Saturday against Texas A&M, and here's why. Let's look at it from an NFL perspective, because in my opinion, Graham Mertz is very much like Gardner Minshew. Efficient, good guy. He'll run the offense the way you want it, but he's not going to elevate anyone around him, and you are only going to make the defense have to defend about the first 35 yards. DJ Lagway is like Jaden Daniels. Brings the mobility into play. Jaden Daniels ran for 2 touchdowns in his debut. So you get the mobility, and Jaden Daniels has that big arm, as we've seen with DJ Lagway. You make the defense defend 55, 60 yards of space, and you get the mobility. And I think DJ Lagway is showing. I mean, look at it Saturday. He's throwing touchdown passes and long passes to guys that haven't done anything at Florida. So that tells me that he is able to elevate guys that maybe Mertz, again, it's just Mertz only had the Miami game and got knocked out, but there was no evidence of that. So for me, Billy Napier needs to approach this like an NFL head coach would approach it. And you absolutely would start Jaden Daniels over Gardner Minshew. Week 1. There is no one on the planet that would not do that. So in this case, it's the same exact thing. It's just a college situation. Billy Napier needs to start the quarterback that makes the defense defend the full field and brings the running component into play.
Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
I've been a good show today. We had our first Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. We certainly appreciate Kendall Utley, a volleyball player from Sandwood, coming by. We heard from Matt Hays, talked about all the SEC teams, who's good, who's not. And we talked a lot about the Jags and what we would like to see them do moving forward. All kind of fun stuff. Jaguar talk, a little SEC talk. We talked a little FSU football. And, of course, we had Kendall Utley, and that is where we've been today on the program. That said, let's say hello to Rick Below.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
Rick, I made this point earlier in the program, serious point. I don't think Mike Norvell's got a 10-year deal. He's not going anywhere. It's a big game this week for him. I mean, if they lose to Memphis at home, I mean, seriously, loud it gets, right?
I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
The school he left, and to come over there and have them beat him, and right now, I think a ton of Noel fans are legitimately concerned about this game.
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like a one-possession football game.
I think it is a one-possession game. I think, look, Memphis hadn't played anybody any good, but they have outscored them 78-17.
Yeah. No doubt. I'd love to sit here and say, listen, they're going to flip the switch and get this thing fixed, and they're going to go on a little bit of a roll and knock off Cal, and Cal just beat Auburn, and who knows? I mean, every team outside of Miami looks like there's an issue. We saw that with Notre Dame losing at home against Northern Illinois, and Clemson crossed midfield, twice against Georgia. So it looks like every team you can find a way to navigate your way through it. But, I mean, right now, I don't care if it's a 17-16 win. Absolutely. They got to find a way to get out of there with a victory.
I totally agree with you. All right, what's coming up tonight? What are we doing?
Not that.
Nothing. Not Florida State. I don't blame you.
I'm trying to stay in a good mood right now, okay?
I just ruined your mood. I'll bet some Jaguar talk.
Actually, that's a lie. It's 7 o'clock. My good buddy Niall Lawrence Stample, and I like to refer him as Niall Lawrence Stample. He's got a defensive name. Florida State National Championship member, 2013. Yep. We're going to break down the Noles in our 7 o'clock hour, but we're going to start with the Jags tonight. I got a couple of things up my sleeve that I'm looking forward to getting towards, and certainly hearing from our listeners. So, getting right after the Jags there at 6.
All right, Rick. Thanks, buddy. Rick Belugo's into the night, and that happens right now. We're out of here. Tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Get a Friday evening full of football fun.
I'm National College football writer Matt Hays.
The big games, the big matchups.
Get you ready for football Saturday.
It's the Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff, Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Embrace the start of football season with MyBookie and take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. Check out their cool prop bets as well. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. For a limited time, MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 4-point favorite over the visiting Browns. The over-under is 41.5 points. The Gators are a 4-point underdog to Texas A&M in the Swamp. The Noles, a 7-point favorite at home over Memphis. There are a ton of cool prop bets as well at MyBookie. You got to check it out. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it is a bonus, a double bonus. Don't miss out on this. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and X to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rolling.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Okay, you've decided it's time to sell your home. How do you go from a problem to a promise? Listen, there are problems that come with selling one's homes, but with the promise of ChadandSandy.com, you're going to get there, and you're going to get there in the best possible way. You see, here's the promise. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. So go to ChadandSandy.com. Listen, lots of stories of proof out there. We're going to get to those in just a second. But maybe you need more space for your office or growing family, or you're worried about costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts you can trust. We recommend them for the sale of your home. They guarantee